Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Amalia Hamzah. My student ID 17220322 at 2017.
Hello, my name is Silvi Mutiara. I am from A3 2017. The first, multiple choice. Multiple choice, this is from adjective assessment, which respond just like correct and answer. The function is multiple choice. The first, multiple choice can be used to test most things such grammar, vocabulary, reading, and listening. And the last, MCQ can be useful in different teaching situations. Advantages and disadvantages of multiple choice question. In this question type, there is a time of various option of choice from. The advantages: the first, MCQ are easy to score, and the second, with the use of computer technology, an answer can be read by mechanics, not people. And the last, multiple choice question takes a wide range of higher order thinking skill. The disadvantages: the first, multiple choice questions are difficult to construct and very time consuming to correct. And the last, it is still possible for students to just guess without knowing the correct answer. The example multiple choice. Choose the correct word to complete the sentence. Cook is blah 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 today for being one of Britain's most famous explorers. A. Recommended. B. Reminded. C. Recognized. D. Remembered.
Second is gap filling. Here is the example of gap filling text. Complete the sentence. Check the exchange to see how much your money is worth. From the text, we can see that gap fills can be used to test a variety of areas such as vocabulary, grammar, and are very effective at testing listening for specific words. The advantage of use gap filling is this type of text is easy to mark and relatively easy to write. But the disadvantage of use gap filling is the teacher must bear in mind that in some cases there may be many possible correct answers.
Close passage. In it, first from a clause consists of the deletion of every fifth or tenth word in a text because the procedure is random. It avoids test designer feeling because of the random of the deleted word. Anything may be tested within a single clause, text grammar collection, fixed favorites, reading comparison, which makes it at the last the fact of in the perfect testing instrument. Advantages and disadvantages for closed procedure. Advantages: supplying the correct word from a blank does imply an understanding of context and a knowledge of that word and how it functions, which make the clause technique, a very useful technique to use language test. Disadvantages: the first, the score obtained by the student depends of the particular word that have been deleted rather than on their greater knowledge of the L2. The second, some items are more difficult of supply than others. And the last, in some success, there may be several possible answers. Example of clues. They sat on a beach, attention, blah blah blah, a picnic table. Below the day, blah blah blah, see the river gurgling between overgrow, blah blah blah, the sky with diamond blue, with blah blah blah, white clouds dancing in the freshening, blah blah blah. They could hear the call of blah 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 and the buzzing of cloudless insects, blah blah blah, were completely alone.
Fourth is open question. An open question is likely to receive a long answer. As any question can receive a long answer, open questions deliberately seek longer answer and are the opposite of closed question. And an open question have some characteristic. First, they ask the respondent to think and reflect. Second, they will give you opinion and feeling, and then they hand control of the conversation to the respondent. And based on this characteristic, it makes open question useful in the following situation, like as a follow on from closed question. To develop a conversation and open up someone who is rather quiet. For example, what did you do on your holiday? How do you keep focus on your work? And then, to find out more about a person, their want, needs, problem, and so on. For example, what's keeping you awake this day? Why is that so important to you? Open question begin with such as what, why, how, describe. Using open question can be scary as they seem to hand the baton of control over to the other person. However, well-placed question will leave you in control as you steer their interests and engage them where you want them. When opening conversation, a good balance is around their closed question to one open question. The closed question starts the conversation and summarize progress, whilst the open question get the other person thinking and continuing to give you useful information about them. A neat trick is to get them to ask you open question. This then gives you the floor to talk about what you want. The way to achieve this is to introduce them with an incomplete story or benefit.
Transformation. Function of transformation are particularly effective for testing grammar and understanding of from. Advantages and disadvantages of transformation test. Advantages: this type of task and fairly easy to mark and disadvantages, this wouldn't be a private question type of you wanted to test skills such as reading or listening. The example of transformation text: complete the second sentence so that it has the same meaning as the first. Do you know what the time is? Asked Dave. Dave asked John, blah blah blah, what blah 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 it was.
Error correction. The example of error correction: find the mistake in the sentence and correct them. Stone was the more better team on the right. From the text, we can see that error must be found and corrected in a sentence or passage. It could be an extra word, mistake with verb form, word misheard, and etc. The advantage of error corrections is useful to testing grammar and vocabulary as well as reading and listening. And then the disadvantage, it is one problem with this question type is that some error can be corrected in more than one way.
With this question type, candidate must link item for first column to item in the second. This could be individual word and definition, part of sentence, particular to word, and attention. The function matching is the most often used to test vocabulary. Advantages and disadvantages of matching test. Advantages: it is easy to score, and disadvantages: candidate can get the right answer without knowledge the word. If she has most of the answer correct to know the last one, leave must the break. To avoid this, have more word than is necessary. The example of matching test: match the word on the left to the word with the opposite meaning. Fat blah 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 old, young blah 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 tall, downwards blah 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 thin, short blah 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 safe.
True or false? The example of true or false question. Decide if the statement is true or false. Over the world affected COVID-19. True or false? This question type is mostly used to test listening and reading comprehension. The advantage of true or false question is this type is easy to score. But the disadvantage of true or false is guessing can result in many correct answers. The best way to counteract this effect is to have a lot of items. Rearranging. This here we have two conclusions that in rearranging is are rearranging word and rearranging sentence. So we choose to take both of them in this video. For the first is rearranging word. Example of rearranging word. Smoking is no this restaurant. With the instruction is the best arrangement to make a sentence is the best answer from this question is C. This is a no smoking restaurant. Rearranging word is rearranging random word in the correct sentence. Sorting word into a meaningful sentence is not difficult. Pay attention to the following is to arrange random word into meaningful sentence. Pay attention to the sentence structure, whether it is a positive sentence, a negative sentence, or a question sentence. Look for the subject of sentence. The subject of the sentence is usually a noun. If the sentence does not have a noun as the subject of the sentence may be a verb or a command sentence or to be question sentence. Look for the verb of the sentence. Pay attention to the sentence that are used. Find noun space object. If any, also note the article or determiner used to start the noun, for example, A or G. Find a type adverb if there is one. Begin to sort the word into meaningful sentence according to your analysis.
Example of writing download sentence. Write the sentence below into a correct paragraph. 1. We left our house at about 5 o'clock in the morning. We took a taxi to the railway station. 2. Finally, our train came. All of us raced to get the train. 3. Last Lebaran, my family and I went to our hometown. We decided to take a train because it is more comfortable. 4. It took about 5 and 7 hours to get to our hometown. We enjoy our journey. 5. We took the correct number 3 according to our ticket. 6. But our train was late for about 15 minutes, so we had to wait a bit longer. 7. After painting our sets, we sat comfortably. 8. We arrived at the station at 6. Our train would leave at 6:40 more. A. 3, 8, 6, 4, 5, 1, 2, 7. B. 3, 4, 5, 8, 1, 2, 6, 7. C. 3, 1, 8, 6, 2, 5, 1, 4. And D. 3, 5, 4, 2, 7, 8, 1, and 6. Rearing sentence. Sorting random sentence into coherence. Coherence paragraph is not a difficult thing, but you must begin to observe and understanding the meaning of each sentence. Consider the following thing to sort random sentence into coherent paragraph text. Determine the introductory sentence that explain the topic. Think bank discussion, usually mentioning the name of the person thing to be discussion. Pay attention to conjunction. Conjunction have usually context to consecutive event or thing. For recount the narrative text, pay attention to the time description because this word show the sequence of events. For description to the repetition of the word in the next sentence to indicate a continue or give a description of the previous sentence. Advantages: this form of test can measure the logical ability or logical sequence of students. This form of test is mainly used for language subject. Disadvantages: this difficulty is determine the topic of discussion, which has a fairly good homogeneity.
So, is here rearranging word is rearranging random word into correct sentence. And then rearranging sentence or rearranging random sentence so that they become true paragraph. Stay
Thank you.
healthy, stay
Stay
at home,
healthy,
work from
stay
home,
home,
learn from
work
home,
from
and
home, learn
Assalamualaikum
from home,
warahmatullahi
and
wabarakatuh.
wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.